On a beautiful fall night in Atlanta, the Braves begin their final home series of the season. With 3 games left, they match up with the Phillies and their 99 wins with a chance to get into postseason play. The September showdown begins. Without a doubt, September has been the cruelest month for Freddie Gonzalez and the Braves. What was an 8.5 game lead in the wild card is now down to 1. And now the last 3 games will decide whether this team gets to play on in October. The challenge will be tough. Their opponent is the current 5-time National League East champions, the Phillies. But last season, the situation was similar. The Braves needing to win to get in. And on their final day of regular season play, that's exactly what they did. They beat the Phillies and they got into the playoffs. So as Yogi says, it's deja vu all over again, and it's really quite clear. Just win. It's another manic Monday in Atlanta and a big crowd gathering here at Turner Field. Yes, indeed, the final 3 games of regular season play. Let's see if the Braves have true grit. Let's see if Atlanta can bang the drum and get into postseason play with a big series against the Eastern champion, Philadelphia Phillies. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff, and the low price. It's really very simple. You do not need to be a math major to figure it out. The Braves at the moment have a 1-game lead over the surging St. Louis Cardinals in the National League wild card race. The Braves hosting the Phillies. The Cardinals are in Houston, and it is Randall Delgado getting the ball for the Braves. Good evening, everybody, with Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson. Welcome to Braves Baseball. Here we go, fellas, the Braves and the Phillies, and let's check out the pitching matchups first.
Well, the very first game is a little bit of a David and Goliath type look there, Chip, because you do have Randall Delgado going. He did pick up his first big league win down in Florida his last time out, and he's pitched great when he's been given the opportunity, although he has not pitched deep into ball games. And, of course, Cliff Lee has been super all year long, 6 complete game shutouts. Then Oswalt and Lowe, 2 guys who have not had good years, are scheduled to go in game 2. Tim Hudson is the anchor. He'll go on Wednesday if needed. But right now, Tom, it seems like a lot of weight has been thrust on the shoulders of a lot of these young pitchers for Atlanta.
Yeah, the Braves have had to rely heavily on their young arms, particularly here down the stretch in the month of September. And, you know, you lose Hansen, you lose Jurgens, and you got to go down to the minor league system. You see the rookies have accounted for 61% of the total innings this month, and they've really done a good job, to be honest with you. In 15 starts, they're 3-2 with a 3.73 ERA. So you want these guys to go out there and give you an opportunity to try and win the ball game and turn it over to the bullpen, and they've done just that. So hopefully one more time here before the season ends, Randall Delgado can go out there tonight and do just that, give them a chance to win again tonight.
And you know he'd love an early lead, but runs have been awfully tough to come by against Cliff Lee, the man getting the ball for the Phillies here in Game 1. Yes, the Phillies have 99 wins, but no, the Phillies are not playing particularly well. They are indeed the faltering Phillies at the moment, a trend the Braves hope continues Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights here. He's ready to go. That's an encouraging sign for the Braves youngster who gets the ball in Game 1 tonight. Chip, Joe, and Tom back with you at the ballpark where the Phillies are in town, fellas, and they're not playing real good baseball right now down the stretch.
Their September has been as bad, if not worse, than the Braves offensively. They have really struggled. The worst record since September 18th, and only 2.8 runs per game. In fact, over those 17 games there on the bottom line, 15 times they've scored 3 runs or less. Hopefully that'll happen again tonight.
Well, they had the luxury of clinching the division early, which means they rest guys. And when you do that, you disrupt the intensity, you disrupt the continuity, and things kind of go a little bit haywire. Unfortunately for the Braves, Charlie Manuel kind of started his postseason prep yesterday, had the full assortment of guys in the lineup. He's going to do it again this series, try to get these guys back in their winning ways and the right mentality going into the postseason.
And the Phillies again trying to win 100 games for just the 3rd time in franchise history. The Braves trying to keep them from doing that. Lineups, first pitch at Turner Field coming up after this. There to add another banner on the facade here at Turner Field in Atlanta. It's the Braves and the Phillies, Game 1. Here's how the Eastern champion Phils line up under their skipper Charlie Manuel. His Suzuki starting lineup, fellas, looks a little different with Chase Utley hitting second, Pence third, and Victorino hitting behind Ryan Howard now.
And they'll be facing the Braves right-hander Randall Delgado. 21-year-old is 1-1 with a 2.70 ERA on the year. You see his numbers in his last 3 starts, 1-0 with a 1.2 ERA. Really has done a nice job for the Braves. He's given them an opportunity to win ball games every time out, and for a 21-year-old, this is a pretty exciting time right here.
And Jimmy Rollins, the Phillies shortstop and leadoff man, goes to work first. And C.B. Buckner says strike one called. 81 degrees at first pitch at 7:10 Eastern time tonight. And Rollins, a soft fly ball to left. That'll be easy for Martin Prado. 2 pitches, 1 out for Delgado in the first.
And for this 21-year-old out of Panama, 6'3", 200 pounds, his 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Economy. Try to get through the first couple of innings with relative ease because you need to lead the way early and kind of set the tone. Maybe give the offense a little shot in the arm just by mowing down this lineup early.
Rollins retired on 2 pitches. Here's Chase Utley. Chase may not remember the last time the Braves played Philadelphia. Remember, he was hit with a pitched ball that plunked him right in the back of the batting helmet.
Miracle Flaherty hitting. This was the pitch in that series in Philadelphia. He stayed in the game, but then he missed the next 7 games. I think he came out late, maybe an inning later in that ball game, but missed the next 7.
And Utley, just like everybody else in the ballpark, turned around to Brian McCann and said, "What just happened?" He thought the ball was fouled off the bat.
Yeah, it's strange. You never know when a guy gets hit like that in the head. And, you know, unfortunately for him, long term he was fine. But I'm sure for that 7-day period, he was a little scary time there.
That got the corner. Good pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This is what Randall did in Florida when he picked up the win against the Marlins. Shut him out for 5 innings. He was working both sides of the plate effectively.
Just missed.
Like the same pitch. A little wide.
That was a strike a few years ago. Not anymore.
C.B. Buckner, as we mentioned, has the plate for Game 1 tonight. Dan Iasonia is at first. Dale Scott at second. Jerry Meals, the umpire, at third base. And Utley doing what he does so well, forcing pitch counts up. Took a close one, then fouled the next one away, and has another 3-2 count. Fly ball to right. And Matt Diaz with closing speed. And a quick second out. Here's the rest of the Atlanta defense. We've shown you Prado and Diaz. Michael Bourne's in center. He's a former Philly. Alex Gonzalez back in the lineup for Atlanta. He's been bothered with a sore calf. And Delgado and Brian McCann, the Braves battery.
For you to say Matt Diaz and closing speed in the same sentence, he'll be proud to hear that.
Well, they only took 2 steps, but still, they were a quick 2 steps. Here's Hunter Pence. This series a matchup of former Astros. Pence for the Phillies, Michael Bourne for the Braves. Those two also battling for former Astro bragging rights in the hit column. Pence has 186. Bourne has 189 this year.
Doesn't matter what uniform he's wearing. This guy's a tough out.
Fly ball right. And Delgado, 3 fly ball outs. None of them very well hit. Good start for the kid. Cliff Lee to the mound for the Phillies in a scoreless first. plate. And here is their Suzuki starting lineup. Alex Gonzalez is back in at shortstop. Matt Diaz in right field with a left-hander on the mound. That also drops Brian McCann down a slot behind Freddie Freeman for the Atlanta Ball Club.
They'll be facing Phillies left-hander Cliff Lee, 16-8 on the year with a 2.38 ERA. Something a little bit different here. I go old school windmill with the arm and fake pitch to second base. He's been pretty good lately. He's been pretty good all year, but real good lately. His last 9 starts, 6-1 with a .75 ERA. So Braves offense has their work cut out again tonight.
And Michael Bourne, no luck at all against Cliff Lee. He lines out to Polanco. He's 0 for 13 now in his career against the Philly left-hander.
4 keys to success for Cliff Lee. Both sides. He likes to work both sides of the plate, not just with his fastball, but with his curveball, with his changeup. He'll throw his changeup into the right-handers. It doesn't matter. And to really put a dent in the Braves offense, you got to stop Michael Bourne. He's 1 for 1 in that category already.
Martin Prado, .261 batting average. 12 homers, 56 driven in. And a swinging strike. Lined into the seats, out of play to the right.
One of the things about Cliff Lee that's different, though, guys, than it was that start against the Braves had against Strasburg, where they worked him pretty hard and were patient, is that if you go up there and kind of just wait on Cliff Lee, you're going to be in an 0-2 hole every time. He's just got too good a control.
And a fly ball into center. Victorino broke in, now drifts back, and he's got it 2 down.
So in talking to some of the Braves hitters, they know that early in the count, if they get a good pitch to hit, get on it. And I said, well, then that kind of explains why he's got 6 complete games and shutouts with very little high pitch counts, because he's getting early outs.
Yeah, he's very similar to what teams used to do in the day against Greg Maddux. You knew going in, he's got good control. You knew you're going to see a pitch to hit during the at-bat, but it might be the first one, and you never wanted to get yourself into an 0-2 hole, because then you just never knew what was coming. So it's always a catch-22 there.
Well, in Lee's last start against the Braves, complete game, shutout, 100 pitches. And he allowed just 5 hits on that day. He didn't face Chipper, whose right knee was bothering him that night. But he's in there tonight as the Braves' third baseman and has a 2-0 count.
This is the first time Lee's faced the Braves here since early April, when the Braves beat him up. He only lasted 3 1/3 innings and gave up 10 hits. His other wins against Atlanta this year, well, the only win was that one September 5th, but all the other starts were in Philadelphia. Not a good start for him, including that start against the Braves on April 8th. The last 2 have been brilliant.
High fly ball left center field. That ball's well hit. That ball is out of here.
Guys, we're talking about pep talks from Chipper Jones, but nothing beats leading by example.
That's the best pep talk he could have given anybody right there on that swing.
He didn't have to face Chipper in Philly. He faces him in Atlanta and is down a run in the first on a solo home run.
His first ever off Lee.
And now Dan Uggla, the batter, down a strike. Dan has 35 long balls this year. Good for third in the National League. Tommy, how nice is it to have an early lead against a guy like Lee?
It's always a good thing, and particularly like we talked about when you've got a young pitcher on the mound.
That's a big deal for everybody, Chip. That's a big deal for everybody on the bench. For Dan Uggla, when he's coming up right here, you just get fired up that somebody's already taken him deep, and you know he's vulnerable tonight.
That ball stroked toward left center field. Victorino's not going to get that. That's going to bounce into the seats. Uggla doubles with 2 out.
Dan's got a career home run off Cliff Lee. He'll settle for a ground rule double here. Breaking ball down, and went down and got it.
And on that swing right there, and on Chipper's swing, both pitches, Cliff Lee missed his location. You see, he's trying to go in here against Chipper and throws that ball up, but over the heart of the plate. And same thing on the double with Uggla. He was trying to go in with that breaking ball and left it down the middle and down. And you miss your location against good hitters like that, they're going to make you pay most of the time.
Freddie Freeman bats, the Braves' rookie first baseman with 21 homers, a .287 average.
He was putting on a show, guys, in BP. Really locked in batting practice. We'll see how it transfers to the game.
That ball hit towards short, and Jimmy Rollins with the play retires the side. But Chipper Jones, fellas, you were calling for the veterans to lead the way early. Offensively, they've done that. Chipper Jones with home run number 18 gives Atlanta a first inning lead.
Execute at some point on offense, defense, and in the field, you know, on the bases, whatever, and do it perfectly. And if we don't, a good team like that will beat you.
I'd say 403 feet with the first run of the night is pretty perfect way to start a ball game.
With an exclamation point. That was beautiful. You can't ask for much more than that. An early lead.
So Randall Delgado back to the hill. He'll face Ryan Howard, the Phillies cleanup man. Another huge offensive season for the Phillies first baseman. And I'll be interested, Joe, to see how he's moving around the first base bag tonight.
Yeah, he's had a bad ankle. His left ankle's really giving him trouble. He had to get a cortisone shot about 10 days ago after they clinched. It has put a dent in his ability to move around.
But 33 homers, 115 RBIs, 6 years now that Howard's had 30 and 100 in the same season. .251 average.
And the Braves have a shift on for him. Only Alex is on the left side of the infield. Chipper even moves over to the right side. He's got that working tonight. It could be a very good night for Randall Delgado.
Yeah, especially where these guys haven't seen him and they're not sure what his stuff's all about. You get geared up for that fastball. The changeup can be a very effective pitch.
We make a lot about how these guys play in a bandbox in Philadelphia and how maybe Ryan Howard's numbers are inflated a little bit because he hits the ball so far to the opposite field. But half of his home runs have been hit on the road, and more than half of his RBIs have come on the road.
He's big and strong enough to make any ballpark look like a bandbox, quite frankly.
He'll pop a few over the course of the year in that little flower bed down the left field corner there in Citizens Bank Ballpark, but his numbers are legit. There's not too many ballparks that are going to hold him in any area.
And Howard squibs one the other way and gingerly makes his way to first base with the Phillies' first base hit of the night.
Well, that's the risk. There's plenty of rewards with this shift, but that's the risk right there. And as a pitcher, you're looking in the dugout saying, why are we doing that? But more times than not, it plays into your favor. And look, with a guy like Ryan Howard, if that's what he's going to do to you all night long, that's okay.
If he didn't swing at it, it was ball 4. He was going to reach anyway.
So now Shane Victorino bats with nobody out. Victorino's knocked in 61 men.
You see his numbers too against Atlanta this year, that 378 average. That's about 200 points higher than what he had hit against the Braves in the last 2 years. A lot more success here in 2011 against Atlanta.
That ball yanked down the right field line, but well into the seats, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. What do you guys think of the way Charlie Manuel has manipulated his lineup for right-hand pitching opponents? Utley second, Victorino fifth.
You know, it's
ground ball to second. And Alex whiffed on the throw. They'll force Howard. And Victorino at first with 1 out.
It's a bad trade where the Braves are concerned. Getting Howard off the bases and putting Victorino on. I don't know if Alex would have gotten him at first base. Looked like he had a shot.
Back to your point, Chip. You know, it's either way. You know, again, you look at it from a starting pitcher standpoint or a pitching standpoint. You know, the element of Rollins and Victorino at the top of the lineup with the speed, you know, it's a little bit more difficult to manage that. Moving Chase up there, you got the opportunity to give up a long ball early. So, I mean, it's one of those things that Charlie has the luxury of kind of going either way he wants to go with that, and there's probably no wrong answer. It just depends on what you want to do on a given night.
And I think he did this more out of trying to get his offense going, Chip, than anything else. Plus, I've got another reason for it.
First the pitch to Ibanez. Fouled straight back.
And that is that Utley, you know, he missed the first 6 weeks of the season. He has not had a good year. He's not had a healthy year. And he runs certainly good enough. Whereas Victorino, he's hit 6th in the order before and driven in a lot of runs. And he's got 17 homers this year. It's a case of putting a guy in a productive spot like Victorino where he could help the team more.
High fly ball toward left center. Martin gallops over and gets it. 4 flyouts recorded by Randall Delgado. He's got 2 down now, and Placido Polanco.
One area for the Braves that has not suffered here in September is their defense. While their pitching has been okay, the offense has not. The defense has been real good. They've not made an error in their last 11 games. I think the last error was actually made by Johnny Venters. So the position players actually have a longer streak working.
And you heard Chipper say on that soundbite coming back from break, got to play almost a perfect game to beat Cliff Lee. Let's see if that continues tonight. So Polanco hitting down in the batting order instead of second for the Phillies, as Victorino at first with 2 outs. Alex at short. Ugla at the second base bag. Delgado threw 2 innings with a lead. 1-0 Braves on a Chipper Jones homer. And it's 1-0 Atlanta. College football fans, catch the premiere of the all-new show, Spotlight Southern Miss Athletics. We've got coaches mic'd up, and our cameras go behind the scenes and show you how the school is building leaders and sports legends. Don't miss the premiere this Friday at 10 on Sports South.
Where is Southern Miss? Is that Hattiesburg? It is. Good town.
Here's Brian McCann. Got to get him going here against Philadelphia.
Well, he's had success against Cliff Lee.
He's 6 for 16. And Ruiz thought that should have been a strike, but C.B. Bucknor says ball 1.
Brian's hit the Phillies real well in his career up until the last couple of years, and there's no secret there with the strength and pitching that they've added with Halladay and Lee. Makes it a little tougher, but
broken bat roller. Utley to his right, throws on the run, and Howard with the scoop.
But my point was that he's still capable and really due against these guys. He gets robbed of a hit by Utley.
Matty Diaz gets the start with a lefty on the mound tonight. He 2 with a homer against Cliff Lee. And 5 for 14 in total. Our Delta Airlines on deck batter is Alex Gonzalez. Braves have missed him over the last 4 games, and he's had a hot month at the plate.
I asked Matty about his attack tonight on Cliff Lee. He's had some good numbers against him, and he said, early in the count, I usually get a lot of off-speed pitches, and if I get something off-speed early, I'm going to go after it.
That ball driven to right. Pence going back, still going, and he can't make the play. Ball drops at the base of the fence. Throw to second, safe.
Ball's jumping tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's flying. I don't think Hunter saw that ball very well. Either that or he misread how well it was going to carry, but in any event, off the end of the glove, and big hit for the Braves.
I think Matt Diaz lost it too, Tom. I think he thought Hunter Pence caught it because it looked like he slowed around first and had to gear up to get to second.
Yeah, it was right around the time it got to his glove. Whatever they were showing on that scoreboard, it was the white light, so you couldn't tell where the ball was.
I lost it. Fortunately, it worked out for Diaz.
Here was Matt around first. He's flying around the bag, but going into the bag, it looked like he was a little dejected.
Kicked it into another gear there going into second.
Well, it's that closing speed I was talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And here, fellas, is one of those spots for Atlanta where they've had trouble. Runner in scoring position. It is the 8th place hitter. Braves are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position over their last 2 games, and 0 for 1 so far tonight. Liner to right. Diaz will score easily. It's 2-0 Atlanta. Back-to-back doubles.
Back on September 5th, when he shut out the Braves on 5 hits, they were all singles. Tonight they have 4 hits, and they're all extra base hits. Good piece of hitting by Alex, 0-2. I talked to him before the ball game. I said, is your calf better? I said, okay, and he didn't exactly give me a glowing report. He just kind of nodded like, yeah. So it's not 100%, but that's a big hit already for him tonight.
It feels better right now, I can guarantee you that.
And no sign of a bunt for Delgado. He's down a strike, 0-1. Add on runs. And the Braves have scored in each of the first 2 innings so far tonight.
It's amazing going back to that last stat, the 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. It's amazing how that number seems to correlate so much with how a team is either struggling or how they're doing well. When that number, when they're struggling in that number, it just seems like it's so hard. Obviously, it's hard because you're having a hard time scoring runs, but it just makes everything so difficult. Whereas when you're in a roll in those situations and getting those hits, they seem to come in bunches, and that's when you reel off a good 6 or 8 weeks like the Braves did, a couple months ago.
And you're not trying as hard. You're not forcing it. You're not grinding at the plate and squeezing the sawdust out. You're relaxed, loose, knowing if you don't get the hit, somebody else will.
Little roller out toward third. Polanco nearly collided with Rollins. Delgado stumbles across the bag. Alex Gonzalez to third now with 2 outs.
It was Was Ryan Howard even close to being on the base when he caught that? Yeah, he was. Glad Randall didn't hurt himself.
There's a lot of awkwardness going on that play.
Michael Line to Polanco at third, who's even with the bag now with 2 outs. And the appeal to third. It's called a strike.
Well, if nothing, I mean, obviously you'd love a big 2-out base hit right here, but if nothing else, I think Michael needs to have somewhat of an extended at bat after Delgado ran down the baseline as hard as he did. You'd love to give him every opportunity to catch his breath before he's got to go back out there.
I just like the fact that he showed bunt. He hasn't done that much lately. In fact, I think maybe just showed bunt once on the whole road trip.
One ball, 2 strikes. Cliff Lee gave up 2 earned runs in 39 2/3 innings in the month of August. He's given up 2 runs tonight.
Yeah, 4 earned runs in 64 innings from August 1st to yesterday. 4. And that part of that was in his last start against Washington when the Nationals turned the trick on him and shut him out. Phillies didn't give him any run support, and he took the loss against the Nationals, who were red hot, of course, and swept the Phillies. And he gave up 11 hits in 7 innings that day. So it's the end of the year for him, too. Up over 225 innings. Maybe not as sharp as he has been.
Which begs the question. We don't know how long he's going to go, but how long do you think he'll go tonight?
My info was that he'll go as long as he wants.
Yeah, that was the info we got. And look, he's going to go until he gets to a point where he feels like he's comfortable with everything he's doing out there, and he's ready to go.
And to your point, good at bat for Bourne. He forces a full count. And already 36 pitches for Cliff Lee. Ground ball to second. And that will retire the side. The Braves get back-to-back doubles. One by Matt Diaz, the other by Alex Gonzalez. They came with 1 out. And after 2 in Atlanta, the Braves off to a flying start. They're beating the Phillies 2-0. Two innings of play. Randall Delgado out dueling Cliff Lee so far tonight. And with the Big crowd here. Let's see who wins our McDonald's Fan of the Game honors tonight.
That young lady is doing her dead level best to just chop her heart out here tonight. She's already earned the Braves a couple of runs. There's something original.
So 2-0 for Carlos Ruiz, the Phillies catcher. He jumps on the first pitch, pops it up behind first, foul ground. Dan's got it. 1 pitch, 1 out. Wild hats for wild card. I like it. And with this big crowd here, a reminder, only 2 home games left for regular season play. And it does mean a lot when you come out and support your Braves. Join us here tomorrow night for Game 2, Braves.com, or by phone 800-745-3000.
Good hitting pitcher here.
He's hit a couple of home runs and batting .205 for the year.
Plus, you get a lot of at bats when you throw 6 complete games.
Mentioned this the last time we saw Randall pitch. He has, for me, that it factor, that mound presence. You never know when you look at his face whether he's leading by 2 or trailing by 2 in a ball game.
It's a good quality to have. Always under control, or seems to be anyway.
And just missed the corner. Full count. .21 years old, out of Las Tablas, Panama. The Braves signed him July of 2006 as an undrafted free agent. Another fly ball. This one toward Prado in left. Martin surrenders some ground. And there are 2 outs. So the decided advantage for Delgado going through this Phillies lineup for a first time. They've never seen him live. Now I would imagine, Tommy, they have a better idea of what he's got. And Jimmy Rollins now hits with 2 outs.
Yeah, they're going to have a better idea what they're going to be looking for early in the count, in 2-strike counts. They've got a better idea now of how his fastball moves, how it comes out of his hand. Same with his off-speed pitches. So, this is going to be a little bit of a test for Delgado, but
he gets Rollins to top the first pitch to short. Easy inning. 9 pitches. That's it. And Delgado leads Game 1 of the series against the Phillies by a 2-0 score. Inning all season long. Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, The Right Stuff, and the low price. Joe Simpson, Tom Glavine, Chip Carey back at the Chop House. The Braves trying to win their 90th game of the year and shave at least one digit off their magic number. That number's 3. Here's Martin Prado. He'll bat for the second time tonight. Prado, Chipper, and Dan Uggla coming up.
Top 4 in the order yesterday went a combined 0 for 16. First time through the order tonight. They went 2 for 4. Bourne now 0 for 2 in his night. So 2 for 5 combined, but already an improvement.
In the air to center. Victorino. What a jump. 1 out. Here's Chipper. His 18th home run came with 2 outs in the first inning.
Tom pointed out it was bad location on that pitch. They wanted it down and in, and he left the fastball up. It looked like kind of tailed and hung out over the plate, and Chipper didn't miss it. Look at the target. Look at the pitch.
And it's funny sometimes too how you throw that pitch with 2 strikes and the hitter can get to it. But when you throw with no strikes or 1 strike, they tend to have a little bit longer swing and a little bit tougher time getting to it. But Chipper got to that one.
Fouled this one off his foot, maybe his calf. Dan Uggla fouled one off his leg in Washington the other day, and after the game said it was the worst one of his career.
Really?
Yeah, he said it was so painful, and he never wears a shin guard.
It's a different September for the Braves in 2011. Chipper was hurt last year. Last 32 games for the Braves third baseman. 307 average, now 8 homers, 15 RBIs. Looks that one low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And that one over the outside corner. First strikeout of the night for Cliff Lee. And time for the AT&T U-verse TV trivia question tonight. Since 1995, Chipper is one of 2 players to score 100 or more runs against the Phillies. Can you name the other man to do that?
That's a long time.
Tom's phone is not buzzing, which means we're going to have to come up with the answer ourselves, buddy.
I'm not doing trivia. I'm a little upset over the whole trivia thing right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Hey, you're the all-timer.
Well, apparently you guys didn't know that. I mean,
Hey, look at it this way.
If it was a broadcasting trivia question, I would have guessed one of you guys just out of loyalty.
How often do we get to say Charlie Leibrandt on the air?
Well,
okay.
Apparently you said him even before me, and
Yeah.
a whole lot of other guys before me.
Oh, yeah.
I was a strikeout guy at one point, you know.
Joe said we should start with the athletes first.
Well, then you should have started with me.
You were a strikeout guy back before Chick started digging the long ball, and then you changed your game.
Exactly. I mean, it's like the one home run I hit. I proved I could do it. You know, a couple of early years in my career, I struck some guys out. I mean, that gets boring. Just get your pitch count way too high.
And Lee has another strikeout. His second in a row, his second of the game. And we head to the fourth inning. Braves in command, 2-0.
Take you through how we got here. Bottom of the first inning, Chipper Jones with a solo home run to deep left center field off of Cliff Lee. Gave the Braves a 1-0 lead. And in the second inning, a double by Alex Gonzalez following Matty Diaz double that scored Matty, made it 2-0 Braves. And that's where we stand, 2-0, top of the fourth. Randall Delgado has gotten off to a very good start here for the Braves.
He has set the tone.
He's allowed just one hit. That was that little cue shot off the bat of Ryan Howard as he spoiled a shift that the Braves employed in the second inning.
See what adjustments their lineup makes now, second time through.
It'll be Utley, Pence, and then again Howard. Utley flied out to right. Braves, as you know, fighting these last three games to get into postseason play. That's not a problem for the Phillies. They've already clinched the East. But one thing Philadelphia is looking forward to is the rest that a couple of days will bring at the end of the championship schedule. They are finishing up 33 games in 31 days. Don't know if that's had an effect on their struggles offensively and how poorly they have played. But in some ways, that's a veteran club, but a weary club. Nice to see the Braves continue to take advantage of that tonight. Slow roller, right side. Ugla. Delgado covers the bag. One out.
Well, again, their last 17 ball games, they've only won 5 games, and one of those was yesterday when they scored 9 runs and kind of broke out of it. But including yesterday, they're only averaging 2.8 runs per game and a .230 average. That's highly unlike this offense. Still getting good pitching, but Charlie Manuel was bumfuzzled, to say the least, over what was going on with his offense. Said they'd lost their mojo.
Well, it's easy to do when you're not playing for anything. You know, you don't bear down quite as much. You don't pay attention to detail quite as much. You know, that's always the flip side of having a lead and winning your division or securing a playoff spot early is, you know, you go through that stretch where you kind of relax and you lose your intensity, and that's why they do what they do here these last 4 or 5 games of the year, is to get back into that. Okay, boys, let's get back to playing the game the right way and start getting ourselves mentally and physically prepared.
Is that tough to do, to turn that switch back on?
It is, but that's why you give them 5 or 6 games going in. I mean, I was never a big believer that you can kind of go through the motions and all of a sudden the playoffs start, boom, here we go again. I always felt like you had to give yourselves as a team, you know, maybe 4 or 5 days to where, okay, let's get back at it. Let's play the game the right way and do what we need to do. And get ourselves right going in. Now, that doesn't mean everybody has to play 9 innings, but for the period of time they're in there, you got to bear down.
And they've given some guys that were hurt some time off, including this guy at the plate and Howard on deck. We talked about that earlier, but Hunter Pence just came back to the lineup yesterday after missing 4 games with some patellar knee tendonitis, and he was a double short of the cycle yesterday, so the rest did him some good.
Pitch buzzed right across one of those knees and barely missed it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pence was the perfect acquisition for what the Phillies needed. Since they got him from Houston, he leads their club in average, hits, total bases, doubles, extra base hits, is tied for their team lead in runs, second in homers, RBIs, and walks.
Well, that's another good reason to bat third.
And funny that 2 guys from the same team were the perfect acquisitions for the teams that they went to. You know, Hunter here in Philadelphia and Michael Bourne here in Atlanta. Both those guys were absolutely what each club needed.
Yeah, 360 hits between them, but Houston's in last place. Not only was Pence a big help for the Phillies, it was also a big problem for Atlanta to retire, and that's our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot.
A lot of damage for both clubs. Fourth full count for Delgado.
Line drive to left, and it'll fall for a hit for Pence.
He's still gimpy running down the line. That left knee still not right on Pence.
Delgado with a little bit of issues letting go of that pitch.
Right out from under him.
Looks like he's okay.
Here's Howard. Braves again shift.
Pitch Ryan Howard up. It's got to be up and in. You pitch him up and away, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, and if you're going to go up and in, you better get it up and in, because if you miss in there, you're asking for trouble too.
Leads their club in strikeouts with 169. And apparently seldom hits the ball in the air for a man with a bad ankle and not the fastest foot speed. Just 10 double plays for Howard this year. One ball, one strike. line over Chipper's head and into right field. Pence around second. And he's on his way safely to third. Ryan Howard has a single to left. He has a single to right center. And now they're at first and third for Shane Victorino.
Well, these are the adjustments you talk about. First time up, he dribbled that changeup down the line, and then this at bat, he swung and missed at a changeup, laid off the second one, and then the third one right there. Even though it was a little bit off the plate, I think that's just a product of having seen that pitch a little bit, and he was able to stay. He was still fooled by it, but he was able to stay on it a little bit longer and keep his hands back and get enough of it to get a base hit.
Here's Victorino. Victorino bounced into a force play back in the second inning. First real scoring chance for the Phillies.
He's had a good changeup. This goes to something I've heard you say several times this year already, Tom, though, and that is don't create a worse inning for yourself just trying to keep one run from scoring.
Yeah, you obviously you're a ground ball double play away from getting out of this inning, but just focus on making good pitches. You don't want to
like that.
Yeah, you don't want to get yourself so consumed with the end result being getting out of the inning that you get ahead of yourself and don't focus on making the pitch at hand.
Victorino fights it off.
Well, he's throwing him a steady diet of off-speed pitches right here, and normally you'd think you have a guy set up for that fastball in, but as we've talked about with Victorino, better be careful with him if you're going to go in there.
No, he's a good fastball hitter, especially down and in.
Brian McCann with a nice stop. A couple of times tonight, Brian's called for off-speed stuff with 2 strikes. And he's knocked the ball down nicely twice.
Good move there to get in front of that one. Remember, Brian had yesterday off, and this time of year that sure helps the legs.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Raul Ibanez on deck. Pence at third, Howard at first.
It shows you the respect they have for Victorino's ability to hit a fastball. Or 6th pitch of the at bat, and he hasn't seen a fastball yet.
And he draws a walk. Boy, was Victorino patient, and the Braves were not going to throw him anything hard. Now, though, you've got the bases loaded for Ibanez.
Maybe a sign of Randall Delgado and his confidence, too, is that it's one of the first times I've seen him shake McCann off in any of his starts. Looked like Brian called for a slider. He shook it off, wanted to change up, but didn't make a good pitch with it.
So no place to put Raul Ibanez. 20 homer man, 82 RBIs.
And he has been trouble for the Braves this year. He's driven in 12 runs against Atlanta alone.
Another good stab by McCann. Ball 1.
Yeah, this is. I'm not sure who's leading the charge here, if it's Randall or Brian, but I know second time through the lineup you talk about making adjustments, but he was awfully effective the first time through establishing his fastball and getting after guys with his fastball, and he's certainly gotten away from that pitch here this inning.
Popped up. Foul ground. Freddie Freeman underneath. 2 outs.
And went back to it right there and got the pop-up. No matter how good your off-speed stuff is or how much you think you need to adjust the guys, you still have to pitch off your fastball, and I think that's a lesson that Randall is going to continue to learn. You have to show these guys that you're willing to throw that fastball and that you can locate it in order to get them off your off-speed stuff.
Polanco went after the first pitch, I think his first time up, so be careful on the first one.
All the hard work you do to get through Utley, Pence, Howard, Victorino, and Ibanez. Now you've got the silent assassins in the bottom of the order, Polanco and Ruiz.
And sometimes this is the hardest out to get, the third one.
Fouled away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Activity in the Braves bullpen. Can't let a game get away from you with so much riding on it. So Scott Linebrink begins to warm up in the Atlanta pen.
And now Randall's got him set up for something that rarely happens. Our Power 8 power rankings. Polanco, a tough man to strike out.
Good to see the fans into it too.
Here's where you want action. This will be the 30th pitch of the inning.
Here's where you got to keep your emotions under control, whether it's a fastball or an off-speed pitch. You can't try and overthrow it.
Up the middle, base hit. Pence scores. Howard can't run at all. He stops at third, and Bourne charging fielded the baseball about 20 yards beyond the cut of the outfield grass. So Polanco with a 2-strike single up the middle cuts the Atlanta lead in half, and now Carlos Ruiz, the Philly catcher, will bat.
Like something inner half of the plate that he just pulled his hands in and got the barrel of the bat to it. You showed that graphic, Chip, about how tough he is to strike out. Figure he's going to put it in place somewhere. You just hope it's at someone.
Yes, you know, you've heard me say a lot of times, you know, not every hit's off a bad pitch. That's a pretty good pitch right there. But you got to tip your hat to the guy over there at first base. He's been doing it for a lot of years and doing it well. And like you said, Joe, that pitch right there, he just pulled his hands in, put it in play, and found a hole.
Good fastball hitter here. First pitch fastball guy.
And he took one right down the middle for strike one.
He may have outthought himself there because he got a fastball first time up and went after it and popped it up. Maybe he was looking at all those off-speed pitches this inning too, Tom.
Ruiz has been in this spot before in this ballpark. Back in April, he had a grand slam against Scott Linebrink. That was as a pinch hitter for Brian Schneider. Now he's down to his last strike.
There was a good changeup.
That's a good pitch right there. Now the key for him, if he's going to go back to that pitch, don't try and throw it any better than the one you just threw. Throw it just like that and take your chances. A lot of times for guys, veteran guys and young guys, but young guys especially, when you throw a really good off-speed pitch to get strike 2 and you try to double up with it, the mistake you make so often is you try to throw the next one even nastier than the last one, and you end up hanging it.
Popped up, right field line. Diaz can't get there. Long run. And Ruiz another swing.
And that pitch missed his spot, but fortunately it was in and up off the plate where Ruiz couldn't do much with it.
Had to fight it off.
High fly ball to center. Bourne's got it, and that will retire the side. Randall Delgado had to work hard in the 4th inning. He allows 1 run. He leaves the bases loaded, and it's still an Atlanta lead. Outdoors by AT&T Uverse TV, by Delta Airlines, and by Honda. Good ball game here at Turner Field. It's a 2-1 Braves score. Game 1 of 3 with Phillies. Young Randall Delgado facing the Philadelphia club for the very first time in his big league career. Had to work awfully hard in the 4th inning, but fellas, he didn't break.
Nope, bend but don't break. You know, like we talked about, keep the damage to a minimum, and he did a good job of doing that.
Phillies have not been good to young pitchers for the Braves that are making their first start against them, too. I know Beachy lost his, Tehran lost his earlier this year, so maybe he can be the first to put a W in the column.
Freddie Freeman starts the Braves 4th and jumps on the first pitch and drives it a long way the other way and just foul. Even Polanco was wishing that ball to go to the left side of the line, and his wish was answered. Freeman missed a double by inches.
A little too much slice on it. Just missed. He hit a ball today in batting practice that even by batting practice standards was huge. It landed in straightaway center in the seats that are behind the railing, like the handicap seats, in straightaway center almost to the concourse. Actually on the concourse.
That's where that 500-foot sign is out there, right? Just to the left of one of the cameras?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long way, particularly in batting practice when you're generating all the power.
Right there. Landed right up here in these seats, right in there.
Well, the wind has been blowing out toward the chop house all night tonight. And wouldn't you know it, on a night where the wind is blowing the ball out, we have a 2-1 game.
One thing you don't want to let happen is let Cliff Lee get comfortable. When he threw that shutout against the Braves in September, he had a streak where he retired about 15 or 17 in a row. You don't want to let him get in a groove.
As we stand now, he's set down 5 straight. He has struck out the last 2 Braves hitters. And he's got 2 lefties to start the Braves' 4th. Freeman, then McCann. Matt Diaz lurking 3rd. Interesting, that sequence. It was Ruiz, the catcher, shaking, and not Cliff Lee on the mound.
Well, usually when the catcher's doing that, right, Tom, he's just wanting you to shake, even though you're not really changing signs.
Yeah, he wants you to get the hitter to think, well, if he keeps shaking off, he's going to be doing something different.
Polanco, long throw at 3rd, and a perfect throw. He's the top fielding 3rd baseman by percentage in the National League. And he handled a tricky bounce for out number 1. Well, this series will tell the tale as far as the postseason is concerned for the Braves, and you can get your postseason tickets today at Braves.com. The Braves NL Division Series home games are scheduled for next Tuesday and Wednesday. Get your tickets today by visiting Braves.com or by calling 800-745-3000. Bryant tried to check his swing. Strike 1.
Bryant's had good at-bats against Cliff Lee in his career, and 6 hits with a couple of doubles to show for it. And I like him batting 6th tonight. I like moving him down there. He's been scuffling in the month of September, hitting only 192. But you get different situations that come up in this spot in the order that might be to his advantage later on.
Well, it's the old change of scenery. Sometimes just a little bit of different spot for whatever reason. You feel a little bit more relaxed, or you see a little bit different sequence of pitches, and could be the thing to get you going.
Good swing there after getting a slew of off-speed pitches. He gets a fastball and fights it off. They want it up and in, and again right down the middle.
Well, the Phillies, Carlos Ruiz questioning a couple of calls now. How close was that?
Not close enough.
Nope.
Good eye by Bryan to take it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The battle continues.
He's fouling off some good pitches, too. Good pitcher's pitches.
This pitch popped up. Ryan Howard handles at the base of the mound. And Lee's retired 7 straight. Base is clear for Matt Diaz. Here's another Georgia Power energy saving tip. Did you know Georgia Power offers its customers a free in-home energy audit? To sign up for an audit in your home, go to georgiapower.com. The run Matt Diaz scored is the difference maker for the Braves tonight. He had a 1-out double, came home on an Alex Gonzalez 2-bagger. That's where we stand, 2-1. Chipper Jones also homered in the first inning. The Phillies scored a run in their last at bat. Cardinals opening their final series of the year in Houston tonight. That's Wandy Rodriguez and Jaime Garcia. And at last report, no score at Minute Maid Park. One ball, 2 strikes.
Here's where Matt's really dangerous when you think, well, you've got him set up for an off-speed pitch, and you think he's looking for it and try to throw a fastball by him, and he still fights it off and usually serves it into right field for a base knock. You have to throw a few more pitches this inning. $19 so far.
Caught at third by Polanco. He timed his leap perfectly. And that retires Atlanta in order in the 4th inning. Cliff Lee has sat down 8 straight. Braves 2, Philadelphia 1 after 4. 8-1. Braves enjoy the lead. Follow the Braves race to the postseason every step of the way with Game Connect at foxsportssouth.com. Game Connect tracks every part of the game with live stats, pitcher batter matchups, and a Twitter feed that will show you what Braves country is talking about. Check it out. Game Connect at foxsportssouth.com. Randall Delgado back to work for the 5th inning. Cliff Lee, his pitching opponent, greets him at the plate. And Lee drives a ball deep left. Prado going back, still going back. Oh, the warning track, and he slams into the fence. You're right, fellas. That ball carried a long way. It is jumping. 1 out.
That's a homer in Philadelphia, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking Randall needs an inning where he doesn't throw quite as many pitches. 35 last inning, and this was a good start. It was almost a horrible start. It's a 1 pitch out, but it was scary. Nice play by Martin. Putting his body at risk there on a full gallop. Good play.
Jimmy Rollins, the batter. He's 0 for 2. Rollins drives that ball to right. Diaz won't get that. Jimmy Rollins hits a line drive home run that ties the game 2-2.
Tried to go fastball away and leaked over the plate just enough for Jimmy to get the head of the bat on it, and another ball that seemed to carry a little bit more than I thought it was going to, and got just enough to get in the seats.
Rollins now 7 hits in his last 15 at bats. He's heating up. And he's tied things 2-2 for Chase Utley, the Phillies' second baseman, who's also 0 for 2 tonight.
Our center field camera, if there's anything consistent about Charlie Manuel's teams, it's that he's got him up on top of the plate. Ryan Howard might be a guy who stands a little farther from the plate than the rest, but Victorino, Rollins, Utley, all real close to that back corner that's closest to the plate.
Tricky one hopper to second. What's that like to pitch to, Tommy, when seemingly you have no inside corner to go to?
Well, you know, it's tough sometimes because, you know, when you get guys on top of the plate like that, your natural inclination is to think, well, I can get in on you. But most of the time when guys are on top of the plate like that, they like the ball in. And I think if you look at this Phillies team, that's kind of how they are. They're looking to fight off the pitches away or get you to make a mistake away. And then when you do come inside to keep them honest, if you make a mistake like Jimmy did, like we've talked about with Victorino, they can drive that ball, so it makes it tough. You've got to be careful on both sides of the plate and make quality pitches on both sides of the plate.
That was Rollins' first homer since August 17th.
And now high to Hunter Pence. More activity in the Braves bullpen as Delgado racking up the pitches. He's at 81 now. And it's Christian Martinez beginning to loosen up. Squibbed back to the mound. And that retires the side. Jimmy Rollins, though, has hit his 15th home run. A line drive over the scoreboard in right field. New life for the Phillies. 2-2 your score. Jimmy Rollins, the last man to touch the plate in this game. 2-2 is our score as the Braves come up in the bottom of inning number 5.
It's like Randall Delgado's night might be over. He was getting some high fives in the dugout. If so, he gave up 2 runs in 5 innings. Has given his team a chance to win, kept it close, albeit he did have the 2-0 lead. But not bad in his first ever start against the Philadelphia Phillies.
So now the Braves have to get Cliff Lee back into the stretch. He's retired 8 straight men. And Alex takes downstairs ball 1. Jose Costanza on deck. So that answers the Delgado question, it would appear. 2 balls and a strike.
Got away with a high cutter there.
He has to get through this 5th inning at minimum to qualify for the win. He also has to have a lead. At the moment it's tied 2-2 as he takes care of Alex and has retired 9 straight.
Best fastball of the night, 93.
Braves alumni jersey auctions going on now at braves.com/alumni auction. You can bid on game-worn alumni jerseys signed by former legends like John Smoltz, Dale Murphy, Phil Niekro, Steve Avery, and even Tom Glavine. Bid today at braves.com/alumni auction. Costanza, chopper to the left side. Polanco fields quickly. And 1 pitch retires Jose for out number 2. This is what, Joe, you didn't want to see happen. Lee get on a roll.
He just gets comfortable and he starts using all his pitches effectively. He was struggling a little bit with his command there in the early innings, but has certainly settled in. Just a matter now of how long does he want to pitch?
I'm going to say the Braves got to start hoping that he's not going to be out there too much longer.
Michael Borno for 2. That was one of Joe's keys to the game for the Phillies. Control Michael. Looking for his first career hit against Cliff Lee. 0 for 14, including today's 0 for 2.
Cliff Lee's had an incredible year after the slow start he got off to. A 16-game winner. His 6 complete game shutouts, the most in the majors. His ERA, the 3rd best in the major leagues, and 2 different months, June and August, where he went 5-0 with an ERA under .50.
That's getting it done for a month.
And he's getting it done here in the 5th inning. He's retired 11 straight, and he turns the keys back over to his offense. Tied 2-2. fly left center. Bourne on the run. Did he do it? He did! We're tied! Swing and a high fly ball. If it's fair, it's gone. It is gone! What a day that was here in Atlanta. May 17th, Brian McCann, the game-tying and game-winning homers. The first one, a pinch hit job with 2 outs and a 1-2 count. So as we head to the 6th inning, the Braves make the AT&T call to the bullpen, and they'll call upon Christian Martinez. And he's got the middle of the Phillies order.
They got to hope he only needs to go an inning and turn it over to the rest of the bullpen, because he's worked a lot. This is his 3rd game in his last 4 out of the team's last 4, and he worked 2 1/3 innings yesterday. So chalk that up as a 3-inning outing.
Strike 1 to Ryan Howard. Howard's got a couple of hits. Ground ball into the shift. Chipper Jones makes the play. And here's the first scoring update from Houston. And it's not what the Braves were hoping for. It's Matt Holliday at the plate against Wandy Rodriguez. And an RBI single has given the Cardinals a 3rd inning lead. 1-0 as Albert Pujols tagged out at the plate to end the top half of that inning. Here it's 2-2 in the 6th for Shane Victorino.
Need Wandy to be Magic Wandy again.
That's down the right field line, and that's trouble. Victorino can fly. He's got at least 2. He's going to make the turn. He's going to head for 3rd. The throw is a little too high. A 1-out triple. The 16th triple by Victorino this year.
He's got a lot of extra base hits. 15 doubles. 26 doubles, 16 triples, 17 homers.
It's that pitch we were talking about his last at bat, that down and in pitch where he just flips the head of the bat on it and gets it down in that corner.
And Freddie Gonzalez pops out of the dugout. There could be quick hooks all night tonight if need be, folks. Christian Martinez gets the first out, but allows a Victorino triple, and the go-ahead run at 3rd for the Phillies with 1 out in inning number 6. Home Depot, by the Georgia Lottery, and by AT&T. Braves 2, Phillies 2 in the top of the 6th inning. Shane Victorino with a triple stands 90 feet away. Christian Martinez down after facing 2 men. The Braves make another AT&T bullpen call, and it's answered very early by left-hander Eric O'Flaherty.
Eric on for the 76th time this year, 2-4. 1.01 ERA, pitched Friday night in Washington, went an inning, gave up a hit, and had a strikeout. So this, in all likelihood, to a certain extent, is a save opportunity right here, really.
And on the next pitch, Ibanez singles through the right side and gives Philadelphia the lead.
He had been 1 for 7 with 3 strikeouts against Eric before that. And that's his 13th RBI against Atlanta on the year.
Well, breaking ball caught maybe a little bit more of the plate than they wanted, but the drawn in infield, obviously you have to try and cut that run down, but good piece of hitting by Ibanez.
So Polanco bats, Philadelphia in front 3-2. He takes a strike at the knees. The Braves did activate George Sherrill today, so they do have another left-hander if needed in the bullpen. But Freddie elected to go with Eric, as you mentioned, Tommy, in this save situation, as it were, here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, that's a big out right there, obviously, that they needed, and who knows, you might try and save Eric for somewhere later in the game, and that opportunity may never come up again. So we just got to hold the fort right here, and like we've talked about, we don't know how long Cliff Lee's going to be in this game, so have an opportunity to go to work against the Phillies bullpen.
They've got Michael Stutz up in their pen.
And that might have been the answer. As soon as Lee gets a lead and he's pitched enough to win the game, get him out.
Well, we talked about, you don't know how long he's going to be out there. The main thing for him is to feel like he's on his game, and certainly after those first 2 innings, he made some adjustments and was really sharp over the last 3. So I don't know how much more he can go out there and try and accomplish.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Polanco as we approach 9 o'clock in Atlanta. The Braves scored the game's first 2 runs. Chipper Jones a first-inning homer. Alex Gonzalez with an RBI double in the 2nd. The Phillies have responded with single runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. Randall Delgado started for Atlanta, 5 hits, 2 runs in 5 innings. Cliff Lee, 2 runs on 4 hits allowed. And has set down the last 11 men he's faced.
Hard to get a ball by this guy anywhere of any shape.
Well, like you say, it's almost harder when he has 2 strikes on him, because he gets so short and so quick to the ball that that's why he doesn't strike out very much.
Balls, 2 strikes. Ruiz waits next. Would Ibanez run? He is. Got a late break. Fly ball right field. And 2 are down. Here's the news in Houston. Braves country's going to like this. The Astros have taken the lead. Wandy Rodriguez.
Magic Wandy with a safety squeeze. They get the run in to tie it.
And
base
after
running
that,
there.
Jason Bourgeois with a double. And Houston leads the Cardinals in the 3rd inning.
I hope Milo had a little pep talk with the Astros tonight.
Braves have gotten Ruiz twice to hit the ball in the air. He's popped to second and he's flied to center. One ball, one strike.
Good sinking action on that fastball.
Two balls, two strikes. Slow roller toward Chipper. Bare hand, throws quickly. Freeman with the stretch, got his man. How many times do you see it? Now makes a great play defensively and comes up in the next inning. That's the fate of Chipper Jones. He's due second in the sixth for the Braves, who now trail the Phillies 3-2 at Turner Field. And there's your score, 3-2 Phillies. Here's how they jumped in front.
Off-speed pitch down and in for Victorino, and anything in fair territory near the line is going to be an extra base hit. He turned it into a triple, and Ibanez turned it into a run.
And now with the lead and the Braves coming up in the sixth, it's not the Phillies bullpen. Look who's back on the mound.
He's got a relatively low pitch count, 79 pitches, so can't imagine he's going to go too much more than probably this inning right here, but you never know.
One ball, no strikes to Martin Prado, who has flied to center field twice tonight. Cliff Lee has retired 11 men in a row. There's a familiar face standing next to Charlie Manuel on the top step of the Phillies dugout. That's Ryan Sandberg, folks. He was the manager of the Phillies AAA team, the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
I think they were in the playoffs, may have won the International League. I'm not sure. I know they got to the finals.
And Lee strikes out Prado. 5 strikeouts, and 3 of the last 4 have been fanned by the Phillies left-hander. Here's Chipper. Feast or famine at the plate for Chipper tonight. A homer and a strikeout.
They made a great pitch to him with a backdoor breaking ball to catch him looking in the third. One and two. Last couple of innings, he's thrown his best fastball at 93. That was his slowest off-speed pitch, looked like a breaking ball at 75.
Yeah, like we've talked about a lot, you get a guy throwing 93, 94, you got to cheat just a little bit to get to that fastball. And when you do, and they throw that on you, it doesn't look very pretty. But hopefully, we'll throw it again and make a mistake.
High fly ball. Well hit left. Long run at Banez. Can't get there. That'll bounce over the boards for a 1-out double.
He did. Like something up, but he didn't get his arms out extended like he'd like.
Yeah, I think that was his cutter, and Chipper looked like he was looking for it, but it still got in on him just a touch where he wasn't able to get full extension. But he's strong enough to get enough of it and drive it in that gap.
That's where your hips come into play, helping get the bat through there, and still almost hit it out. So still the Braves tonight, 5 hits, 5 extra base hits. Need 5 singles now.
Take that. Ugla becomes the key man in the inning. A 1-out double by Chipper Jones. Inside corner. Fights it off and stays alive. Braves so far tonight 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position.
Just trying to guard the plate here and hope that Lee makes a mistake. Anything inside, you got to just fight off. Dan's good at that.
Off-speed pitch is cut on and missed. And Ugla down on strikes. 6th strikeout for Lee. 2 outs.
I don't know what that was. I think maybe a changeup. Fooled Dan, whatever it was.
Something in between.
Yeah,
it was
maybe a backdoor cutter, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a strikeout on a pitch that wasn't a very good Cliff Lee pitch for what he was trying to do.
It's up to Freeman to keep the inning alive. Chipper at second, now 2 outs. Little flare towards short, but Rollins drifting back makes the play, and that retires the side. The Braves threaten, failed to tie the game against Cliff Lee. We head to the 7th. He's hobbling.
He actually went into second base on the double a little gimpy, and then really came up favoring his right leg on that out hit by Freeman.
Well, they certainly don't need him to go down. Hopefully he just tweaked it a little bit and
his right knee.
So Cliff Lee's done. Ben Francisco will pinch hit. We are in the 7th. Houston still leads St. Louis. That game in the 4th inning. Braves with a 1-game lead over the Cardinals. And Chipper can't cut toward that ball. The ground ball to short is fielded by Alex Gonzalez. Chipper took 1 step and hopped off that leg.
Not able to push off that right leg to make the crossover step.
Well,
being watched closely.
If you're Jimmy Rollins, do you lay down a bunt right here and see how well Chipper's going to move? Or
you would if you've been paying attention and noticed it.
Strike one of the outside corner. Rollins hit a line drive homer in the 5th inning that capped the scoring off Randall Delgado. The kid pitched good baseball tonight. 2 runs in 5 innings. Rollins, a little flare to right. It'll drop in front of Matt Diaz. Jimmy Rollins is 2 for 4. He's aboard with 1 out. Fellas, what's up in Houston?
Big knock here. Matt Downs into the Crawford boxes. And it's not a solo shot, it's a 2-run homer. 4-1 Astros.
Jaime Garcia, the Cardinal lefty starter, shaking his head. Braves liking that. As Chase Utley bats. And this is the kind of situation Charlie Manuel was envisioning when he reworked his lineup. Big hole right side, fast runner at first, chance for Utley to hook the ball through that gaping hole on the right side. O'Flaherty, though, has much better ideas, having a ground ball at somebody and a double play.
They've had a lot of their regular position players coming back from or playing with nagging injuries. Jimmy Rollins missed some time with a groin injury, I believe. Chase Utley got hit in the head with that pitch by O'Flaherty last time he saw him.
Mentioned Howard with the ankle as well.
Hunter Pence with some tendonitis in his knee. Polanco was actually moved down in the order partially because he's been battling a sports hernia and abdominal strain, but still playing.
Pop fly foul by Utley. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, when you get to this stage of the season, there's not going to be too many guys that are putting on the uniform that don't have something wrong with them. You just hope that it's more of a nagging type of thing and not the kind of thing that's going to keep you from being able to perform and do the things that you want to do.
One of the weirdest practice swings I've ever seen right there.
Looks like what my golf instructor is trying to get me to do, to rotate through that swing a little bit more.
Say that might have worked over at Eastlake for the FedEx Cup, but it's worked well for Pence on the baseball field too. And that pitch works to get Utley. Nasty. 2 outs. The Academy Sports and Outdoor Leaderboard features Eric O'Flaherty and his remarkable year in relief.
Minimum of 75 games all time. He's the best so far.
Joe gave this man in the batter's box one of the great nicknames in baseball, and it's so apt. The Praying Mantis.
Weird thing about that practice swing is that it's really nothing like the finish to his regular swing. I mean, he takes a more conventional finish, but the way he stops it with those stiff arms in the practice swing is just very unusual.
I mean, Joe, as a hitter, is there anything about Pence's swing that you would teach a young player?
Oh, absolutely. He starts with a little bit of an open stance, and not this one, but the one at the plate. That's the weird practice swing. But his head never moves. His head stays right on the ball.
And he drives that to right. And that retires the side. Stretch time in Atlanta. Braves are down 1 run, and Cliff Lee is out of the game. It's rally time at Turner Field. South are brought to you in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by McDonald's, and by Ford. Beautiful night in Atlanta. The Braves coming up for their half of the 7th inning. The Phillies lead 3-2. Let's revisit the AT&T Uverse TV trivia question. Chipper Jones, one of only 2 players with 100 or more runs against the Phillies since 1995. Can you name the other?
My choice is Andrew Jones.
Good call. I was going to say Gary Sheffield.
You guys are the experts. Let's see if you're right.
Andrew Jones. Good call.
Wow. You know what we call that, Tom? Cheating? No.
Oh.
He is hotter than a dancing bobcat.
Yeah.
When it comes to answering the trivia, he is on like at least a 9-game winning streak.
Close to it. This guy on the mound now for the Phillies, what a story this year. Started in A-ball as a position player. Started pitching a little bit and had a great year, both at Clearwater in Double-A and then at Triple-A. And all of a sudden they promote him after the playoffs at Lehigh Valley. They promote him. This is only his 3rd big league game. So he's going to have to be a little nervous here in this setting, you would think. Maybe the Braves can make some hay against him. There are the numbers at Lehigh Valley, and I'll say they were pretty good.
Amazing, guys. Last year, he was 1-12 at Lehigh Valley. And he's listed in their media guide as a first baseman, left-handed pitcher. He's out of Lamar High School and Rice University. And it's interesting, too, they have one lefty in their bullpen. And that's Antonio Bastardo, and he's the guy that's been getting just hammered. So perhaps Savory pitching for a roster spot to give Charlie Manuel a little late inning flexibility for the Phillies.
Well, either he's figured something out with the pitching, or as you guys like to say, he's left-handed and breathing.
And it's not like to say, we love to say that.
Although his numbers back it up. I mean, he figured something out. Maybe he went back to playing his position and figured, I don't want to do this every day.
A lot easier to throw it than it is to hit it. And there's a guy at first base that isn't going anywhere quite some time for the Phillies either. Strike 1 to Braves catcher Brian McCann. Then Matt Diaz, then Alex Gonzalez. It's late in Atlanta. 3-2 though. Phillies with a skinny 1-run lead. And a ground ball toward Utley. One out. Braves country, secure your Braves postseason tickets today at Braves.com. Division Series home games are scheduled for next Tuesday and Wednesday. Get your tickets today online at Braves.com or by phone 800-745-3000. So Savory savors a 1-hitter game. He retires Brian McCann. He departs. Phillies up a run. by Checkers, by Geico, by Georgia Power, and by Toyota. Joe, Tom, and Chip back with you at Turner Field. Phillies 3, Braves 2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bases empty for the Braves. It's all college football and it's all new. Join Sammy Linebaugh, James Bates, and Tommy Bowden in the new college football show every Thursday night at 7 and 10 on Fox Sports South. They break down all the biggest matchups in the South every week. The new college football show this Thursday, 7 and 10 on Fox Sports South. Michael Stutz is the third Phillies pitcher. And out of play. Off bat of Matt Diaz. Matt has doubled and scored one of the 2 Braves runs tonight.
See the numbers on Michael Stutz, 56th game, 6-2 with a 3.73 ERA.
We'll see how this works out. And Matt might well reach base, but I'm surprised that there's not a pinch hitter for him. Braves have Hayward, they have Pinsky, they have Conrad. Foul. What do you guys think of the Phillies bullpen now that we're in it? A couple of years ago when they won the championship, Brad Lidge was perfect. I think it's okay. I don't think it's great. It's just okay, and they certainly haven't been pitching very well lately. Any of them.
No, none of them have. I mean, it's, you know, look at it's easy to look at this team and look at that as the Achilles heel with, you know, primarily because the starting rotation is so strong. But, you know, you figure they're going to get a little bit of a boost somewhere because somebody in the rotation is going to be in the bullpen during the postseason. So, you know, they don't rely on it very much.
Yeah, with Hamels, with Lee, and with Halladay, those guys could take the ball 8 or 9 just about every time out. So that does shorten the bullpen. Well, it's been called on. Phillies all year long have blown just 8 saves. They're 45 for 53 in save chances this year. Fewest games and fewest innings, as you'd expect, pitched by their relief corps. Line drive to right. Pence is there. And Stutz, one of 4 to make their major league debut as a relief pitcher for the Phillies, has his first out of the night.
Good at bat by Matt. Hit the ball hard, but right at him. They may have a low number of blown saves, but to me, a lot of the blown saves aren't registered as such because it's one of their starting pitchers who lost the lead in the 7th or 8th inning.
Swing and a miss for Alex. A double and an RBI for him. Good to see Alex back in the lineup, swinging the bat well, which was what he was doing before he hurt his calf on the road trip. The AL wildcard race also a nail biter. Baltimore's beating Boston. Tampa Bay's beating the Yankees. Those games in the 7th inning over in American League play. If those scores hold, Tampa Bay will be even with the Red Sox with 2 games left on the schedule. And a swing and a miss retires Alex Gonzalez. Savory and Stutz help work a scoreless Atlanta 7. 3-2 Phillies. We go to the 8th. of this final regular season series. Middle of the order up for Philadelphia. Johnny Vetters ready to answer another AT&T call to the bullpen. Ryan Howard, Shane Victorino, Raul Ibanez scheduled for the Phillies.
Vetters worked 2 days ago against Washington. Gave up a run. Also struck out a batter. That run came on a home run by Jason Worth.
And the shift is on. See how much range Chipper has playing and what would be the second baseman's position up the middle. Remember, Chipper injured his knee, we think, running the bases after he doubled against Cliff Lee. And Uggla playing in shallow right as Howard quickly down 0-2.
Howard 2 for 13 against Vetters in his career with 6 strikeouts. Chipper got a ground ball over there last time Howard came up, but I can promise you he did not take ground balls there today.
And he won't have to, at least with Ryan Howard. 170 times Howard has struck out. Vetters has his first tonight.
Fans, Dale Murphy, myself, will join Steve Avery, Javi Lopez, Sid Bream, and others at the Braves 2012 Fantasy Camp as guest coaches. Learn from the pros and live the life of a big league baseball player. Sign up today at braves.com/fantasy camp or call 404-614-1526. So I'm coaching. I didn't know that.
Say, if you got your fantasy camps, spring training regimen worked out, all the sprints, all the drills.
Absolutely.
PFP.
Work those guys hard. I better start coming up with some signs.
Just have a stopwatch attached to your belt loop and a clipboard.
And a fungo.
Yeah, and you're ready.
Well, they do a great job with the fantasy camp down in Orlando. And yes, and Bobby Wine will be rigging the draft so that his team can win the championship, which they do every year.
Of course.
That's past third, and Chipper slow to get up. Victorino on his way to second. He'll stand there with a one-out double. Don't see that too often against Johnny Vetters.
Playing close. Chipper didn't have much time to react and couldn't pull that one in. But Victorino now 4 for 10 with a double and a triple off Johnny Vetters. It's a big run at second base. Got to keep him from scoring.
It's a 3-2 game. And Ibanez singled home Victorino on the first pitch Eric O'Flaherty threw. That's the difference in the game. Home run cut Ibanez missed it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good pitch. Somehow Ibanez is able to lay off. I'm going to show you the 2 pitches that Victorino has hit for extra base hits tonight. Here's the pitch from. It's a little big of a circle, but that's the changeup that he hit. We're going to leave that circle up there. And look where this pitch was that he hit right-handed. In the circle, right out over the plate, down low.
Now a ground ball up the middle by Ibanez on a 3-2 pitch. Victorino scores, and the Phillies add another run. For a club that's been struggling to score runs, it's been textbook for him tonight.
Well, Mackey went out and talked to Johnny in between pitches there, and they settled on the fastball. And again, just a matter of location. The ball drifted back over the plate a little bit, and much like Victorino.
Now Alex shovels to Ugla, and Polanco hits into a double play. But the Phillies add another run off Johnny Vetters in the 8th. 4-2 now, Phillies. Bottom of the 8th inning. And ironically enough, the same score in Houston. The news there a little better. The Astros are beating the Cardinals. If those scores hold, the Braves would still trim a number off their magic number. It would then be trimmed to 2. Let's see, though, if the Braves can get something done in the 8th inning against veteran Brad Lidge. What jumps out for me, fellas, that ERA number for the Philly relief pitcher.
Well, he was on the disabled list a lot this year, too. Had a rotator cuff strain at the end of spring training that kept him on the DL for quite a while. Didn't get activated till July 22nd. But he's had 11 straight scoreless appearances and not in the closer role. He's in the setup role for the 8th inning. Braves have got to get some base runners.
And it's Eric Hinsky grabbing a bat. He'll pinch hit for the Braves. quickly, strike two.
Huge run there in the top of the 8th inning.
And the Braves running out of outs. They have 6 left. Two balls, 2 strikes. Eric battles back for a full count.
Get on by hook or by crook. Doesn't matter how you reach, just get on.
Get your rally caps on, friends. It's only a 2-run game. And Hinske called out on strikes. He questions C.B. Buckner's call. 1 away in the 8th.
Into his bread and butter, that get over slider.
Yep. It was on the plate. Borderline down, probably a little bit down, but too close to take, I guess.
And now an interesting matchup. Bradledge versus Michael Bourne. 2 players traded for each other. Bradledge came over from Houston with Eric Bruntlett from Michael Bourne, Jeff Geary, and Mike Costanzo at the end of the 2007 season.
Bradledge throws that kind of slow get over slider so often you can go up looking for it. It's just a matter of hitting it. There it is again.
It's almost like a guy with a good changeup. You know it's coming, but you still have to be patient and stay back and not try to do too much with it. And that's the hard part. You know, especially for hitters when they're looking for a pitch and they guess right. It's still tough to be patient enough to not try and do too much with it.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good eye. Michael's hitting some tough luck lately. I know he struck out his last time up, but lined out his first time up tonight when Polanco was playing in. Hit one right at him. Some tough luck yesterday with the bases loaded.
And he walks with 1 out. Good at bat. He was down 2 strikes. Something Tommy, our partner Joe Simpson, has been saying for the last 2 weeks. In the playoffs, a base runner is a rally.
Well, absolutely, and especially late in a game like this. You get a guy on base with some speed. Puts a lot of pressure on everybody on that infield.
Held high inside corner, called a strike.
Missed one. That was close to a balk. It was a pitch out, but Lidge, if he paused, it was just the slightest.
Just foul past third.
Polanco's guarding the line, and if it was fair, he might have caught it, but it still was close to being by him for an extra base hit. There was the pitch out.
Base hit right field. What a piece of hitting.
Just a mistake up, and for Martin, that's like putting it on a tee. Just served it into right field.
Well, one of the most famous moments in baseball history was Kirk Gibson with a balky knee and a late homer. But Chipper Jones in the 8th inning with 2 on and 1 out turned this game around. He does have a homer tonight.
3 for 8 in his career against Lidge.
C.B. Buckner flinched. Lidge wanted it, didn't get it.
Ruiz wanted it too. So they evened up.
He giveth, he taketh away.
That's our man CB.
Bourne walked. Prado single. 2-1 to Chipper.
Their bullpen, as Tommy said, their Achilles heel, and they haven't pitched well lately. Maybe another mistake right here.
Ground ball to Utley. Rollins at second. Throw to first in time for the inning-ending double play. The Braves threaten in the 8th, but Lidge gets out of trouble. And this game goes to the 9th with the Phillies in front 4-2. Bat of Chipper Jones to send this game to inning number 9. Phillies 4, Braves 2. Anthony Varvaro answers the AT&T call to the bullpen.
Varvaro on for the 17th time on the year, 0-2 with a 2.86 ERA. Last pitched in Washington, going an inning, giving up a hit and a strikeout. Pitched well previously to that, and a couple of his other outings before that in Florida. His job, give the Braves one more crack at it in the 9th inning.
It is still a manageable game. A bloop and a blast and you're tied. But that's based on stopping the Phillies here in the 9th. Ruiz, then Lidge's spot, then Jimmy Rollins due up. One ball, no strikes. They're in the 6th now in Houston. 4-2 Astros. Pop fly, shallow right, and Ugla is there. One away. Good start for Farvero in the Phillies' 9th.
Time for our Toyota play of the game, and it was a great catch in the 5th inning off the bat of the pitcher Cliff Lee, who drove one to the wall in left field, but Martin Prado hauled it in, crashed into the wall, and held on. A great play for our Toyota play of the game.
So Brad Lidge gives up a hit and a walk in his inning of relief. But most importantly for the Phillies, no runs. Also struck out a man. Michael Stutz went 2/3 of an inning perfect. But it all started with Cliff Lee. Here's John Mayberry. This young man's had himself a pretty good year. 15 homers. He's knocked in 49 men.
Guys, just for a second, I want to go back to Johnny Venners. There's been a lot made of the fact that he's pitched a lot, been in more games than anybody in the game, and what effect it might have had on him over the course of the season and what toll it's taken. And I think the numbers speak to that, because he's not the same guy. He's throwing hard.
Line drive to right. Sliding catch by Matt Diaz. 2 out.
He's throwing 96 tonight, according to the radar gun, but the bottom line is he's given up runs in 3 of his last 4 outings. That's a total of 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs all earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. So I think the proof is in what's really affected him over the course of the season. He says he feels fine, feels okay, but it's taken its toll.
Jimmy Rollins bats. He's had a big night tonight. I'm guessing some of the ripple effect of that, fellas, is the fact that this month the Braves starters, with the exception of Tim Hudson, have all gone about 5 or 5 1/3 innings. Braves have also lost Peter Moylan to injury here in the last week. And in all these close games that the Braves seemingly play, you'd be foolish not to use your top 3 weapons as much as you possibly can out of the bullpen, right?
No, you have to. I mean, you're absolutely right. You'd be foolish not to. But, you know, it's velocity, movement, and location. And
Rollins, a fly ball into right center that Michael Bourne tracks down. And that will retire the side. Perfect inning for Anthony Farvero. Last chance for Atlanta. Uglin, Freeman, McCann in a 2-run game. Braves led 2-0. Phillies have scored the last 4 runs in unanswered fashion. Get your rally caps out, folks. Need your help as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. And a tough man on to try to close it out for the Phillies.
And he's been tough lately. You see there, no runs allowed in his last 15 appearances, covering 14 in the 3rd inning. So for as much as this bullpen gets talked about and as being their Achilles heel, Ryan Madson certainly is one of the few guys down there that's been throwing the ball well lately. So the Braves have their work cut out here for him in the 9th inning.
Tall, lanky guy, throws right over the top, and while he throws pretty hard, 92, 93, his changeup is his best pitch.
The trio he will face in the Atlanta 9th. Dan Uggla is 7 for 29 against him with a home run. Freddie Freeman is 0 for 2. Ryan McCann is 3 for 16. Might see Jason Hayward if somebody reaches. He's 3 for 4 against Madsen. It starts with Uggla. Dan has doubled once, struck out twice. And there's the changeup for strike 1.
Boy, that was up, too.
Line to left. And that's off the glove. And into the left field corner. The Braves have 9th inning life.
And they'll take all the help they can get. This ball must have been hooking because it was hit so hard. But Ibanez just kind of chased it right to the ground. And it'll go as a double.
Well, you said it, Chip. At the end of the last inning, a bloop and a blast. That didn't quite constitute a bloop right there, but we'll take a blast.
And Freddie tried. Strike 1.
Change up. Madsen's smart guy. He knows he's got a run to work with. His only concern is Freddie Freeman.
It's 4-2 here as well. 1-1 pitch. Good eye. 2 balls and a strike.
Big crowd on their feet trying to help out. Braves have had a lot of late inning magic this year, guys. Most last at bat wins in the National League.
That's where you got to be patient right here. If you're Freddie, don't try and do too much. Get a good pitch to hit. If you don't get it, lay off, take the walk, or live to see another pitch.
Hooked foul past first.
That's why Madsen can afford to do whatever he wants here. Just trying to keep Freddie off base. He doesn't care about the guy at second. He throws him a 3-1 changeup.
Wow. Right off his hands, and he fought off a 95-mile-an-hour fastball at the knuckles.
You don't know how good you have to be to fight that off, folks.
especially when you haven't seen one.
Yeah.
And you just saw a 3-1 changeup, or you know he's hitting changeup.
And down and in, strikes out Freeman. 1 out.
Nice comeback by Madsen from 3-1.
Yeah, it looked like a little cutter there.
Yeah. It wasn't a slider. At first I thought it was a slider the way Freddie swung at it, but a 92-mile-an-hour pitch that had a little bite on it.
This would be a great spot for McCann's first base hit of the night. He's 0 for 3. Held high inside corner.
Braves 1 for 8 tonight with runners in scoring position after 0 for 6 the last 2 games. Stood him up with that fastball. Pretty good chance you get a changeup. For Brian here, I just hope that he didn't try to pull whatever Madsen's going to offer. Hit it wherever it's pitched. See it out of his hand. Take a good cut at it, but don't try to go out around anything, especially that changeup.
Jason Hayward, as we suspected, is on deck. And now it's 2-2.
Well, this is more than I remember seeing Madsen use his fastball.
Way more. It's the most tonight, too. That was that little biter that he threw Freddie Freeman, too. A little cutter.
Change up. 2 outs.
That's just good pitching right there. You get Brian conscious in and conscious of that 92 to 95 mile an hour fastball or cut fastball, and then you drop that 82 mile an hour changeup on him. It's awful tough to cover both of those.
See how wide the stance was of Ruiz on that pitch? Ready for anything. I mean, he was almost doing the first baseman splits, but a real wide set. Ready to block that changeup if it was in the dirt.
Jason Hayward tries to keep the game alive for Atlanta. And he takes a first pitch fastball. And he's had a good one tonight. 95 on that pitch. To first, Ryan Howard hugging the line, and the Philadelphia Phillies win Game 1 by a final score of 4-2. Now the Braves will sit and scoreboard watch. The magic number for the moment remains at 3. The Phillies win their 100th game for just the 3rd time in franchise history, and it's Shane Victorino, fellows, who played the leading role.
He had a big night. He didn't drive in any runs, but he scored 2 of their 4. And he scored their go-ahead run in the 6th inning after this 1-out triple in the corner. And then on a similar pitch, batting right-handed, he doubled with 1 out in the 8th and scored on a single by Ibanez for an insurance run. Turned out to be huge. Our Home Depot player of the game.
So Cliff Lee picks up his 17th win of the season. Christian Martinez suffers the loss in relief. You hand a save to Ryan Madsen, his 32nd of the season. And the Braves' September struggles continue. They're 9-16 this month. Coming up next, Braves Live. Stick around for post-game interviews, Freddie Gonzalez post-game sound, and all of tonight's highlights. Braves Live coming up next.